What's going on, everybody? So today is the day we get the drive shaft, the QA1 carbon fiber drive shaft installed on the Shelby. So I'm gonna make use of a DIY garage. It's called Indy's DIY garage. I've never been there before. I just need a lift. So hopefully I can get a 4-post lift, you know, because I don't have any jacking rails or anything like that on here. I know you can obviously still lift it up or whatever, no problem. There's a pinch wheel that runs the length of the vehicle, but there's no, on the GT350s, there's no dedicated jacking spot. So hoping to get a 4-point lift. If not, whatever, you know, we'll make it happen. And I'll pretty much just show you the process of getting that installed. It's pretty easy. So I'll see you at the garage. Remind me. I'm gonna buy some jacking rails for this thing.
What's that?
So I'm gonna buy some jacking rails for this thing.
Just getting everything to clear that side.
You said. All right. So I'm trying to see if you guys can see this, where it actually connects here to the diff. Definitely gonna have to remove the exhaust right here from this point, and probably just this. No, I'm probably gonna have to take it out back here as well, at least drop them from the hangers. So we'll get that unbolted, get this exhaust off, and then we'll get it in. Make some marks as well. All right, so the idea was to drop the X pipe. This is the ShiftTech X pipe, the resonator delete, right? So the idea was to actually drop this by removing these hangers. So as you can see, you're free on this side. I tried to do it on this side, but let's see if I can move it real quick. The issue is they tack welded it, okay? So now I gotta figure out, I'm gonna have to drop this entire section right here a little bit and see if I can get that to work. So I'm gonna go ahead and release the hangers from this point right here, and probably up top as well. I'm not sure if you can see that, but right here, I'm gonna try to release that without removing too much up here, and then maybe I can kind of get it to swing down some, and I'll use that pole jack over there just to kind of hold it. So okay, so I'm supporting the pole jack. We're supporting the exhaust right here with this pole jack. I'm actually going to release these 2 bolts that should drop the exhaust. I released it right here as well so it doesn't push down on this and rip anything out. There is a hook right here. Gotta just make sure that comes out of there, so it doesn't pull down on this. All right, so you don't want any weight on there. And so once that gets done, then we'll get everything marked, and hopefully we can just kind of slide it right out. So I have the hangers, which are right here, unbolted, so we can drop the exhaust. I'm not gonna drop it too much until kind of get things unbolted so we can see what direction we can go. We might not need too much room. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all of these off if possible. Let me see. Try to get some light. Okay, so I'm gonna get the like 12-point bolts there where it meets the transmission. Gonna get those off. Go ahead and take these off as well, where it meets that yoke. And the drive shaft's not gonna drop because there is a, I'm not sure what it's called, but it's kind of like a, you know, just holds the drive shaft up there. All right, so aftermarket, you want to call it a safety loop, but so that's bolted up there. It looks like with some 12mm bolts. So then I'll unbolt those last, and then we'll drop it. Okay, so gotta stop the drive shaft from spinning, so I'm gonna try to put it in gear, see if that works.
Sean, do we have any 1030 left over there, do you know? Yeah. You ready to go down?
Yeah, so I'll try to jump in here real quick.
Okay. Yeah.
Check the battery. Man, that battery low already. All right, so since the battery's low, I'm gonna go ahead and turn this video off, get everything unbolted, and then we'll come back. All right, so I only have 17% battery left. I do have another battery, but it's not completely charged, okay? So just want to give you guys some tips here. As you can see, I was able to get some bolts off. I was able to get 3 of these bolts off, actually, where it meets the transmission. I was able to get 3 over here as well, okay? So those 2 and then this one, I was able to get those off. So I have 3 more on the other side. So what you're gonna do to ensure that you're able to rotate the drive shaft as necessary is to make sure you've actually put it in gear, okay? When I first showed up, I didn't have it in gear, I had it in neutral, so it was spinning. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually hook back up the exhaust, lower the vehicle. I'm not actually gonna tighten the clamps, I'm just gonna put the X pipe here and the clamps so it stays up. I'm gonna lower the vehicle, put it in neutral, raise the vehicle, spin the drive shaft, lower the vehicle, put it back in gear, and then raise the vehicle back up. And then that should be the last time actually having to raise it up before this drive shaft comes off. All right, so all bolts are off where it meets the diff. Also where it meets the transmission. We're gonna take those 2 bolts off for this bracket. Those are 13 millimeters, and then we should be able to take it right out. Stainless work setters. I'm gonna have to change this cap. See a little bit of oil on here, I'll change that. All right, so this part was a little tricky, even though I had it unbolted. Still had to kind of use a little mallet and a flathead just to kind of bang it a couple times, and it actually came out. So this is ready to come out. All right, so let's take this out. So it's the factory drive shaft. Obviously it's 2 pieces. This is that bracket we took off. This is where it attaches to the transmission, right? And so now what we're gonna do is, you always wanna make sure this is clean up here, okay? We're gonna mount the little adapter piece for this, and then we'll go ahead and get it bolted to the transmission and the yoke right here, okay? Where it attaches to the diff. Okay, so this right here is the adapter that's gonna attach to the yoke back here. It basically just goes in just like that, all right? Now it provides the enough space for the actual drive shaft to go on, okay? So it's important to use an 8 millimeter hex, okay, to tighten those down. Now those are going to be torqued to 47 foot-pounds of torque, okay, and that's according to QA1. And you're also going to use blue Loctite on all boats. So flange is on. I have thread lock on all of the bolts, and they are torqued down to 47 foot-pounds of torque. And I'm actually going to check the install just to make sure that they're 47 foot-pounds, and then I'll continue with installing the rest of the drive shaft. All right, let me grab some light. All right, so the part where it's attached to the transmission is done. I just need to torque this last bolt here at the very bottom. I need to torque that with the white dot. We have it in manual right now, park and brake off, so we can actually spin and get those bolts in there. And lastly, I'm gonna do a quick measurement, and then we'll be good to go. Bolt the exhaust back up, you know, put the hangers back up, and then we are good to go. Okay, so little trick, keep your, all right, so you see how the green matched up, right? So this is the green weight, smashed up to the green side, so we can maintain balance. Now I have these bolts in here pretty snug, but I do not have them torqued, okay? I still need to actually torque that last bolt on the transmission, but we're gonna go ahead and keep this in neutral with the park and brake off. That way we can go ahead and spin, get all the other bolts on, and the blue and the orange on, get those snug, and then you're gonna have the opportunity to kind of position it, maybe with like 3 bolts down. So you go ahead and get those torqued, and then spin it one time, get the other 3 bolts torqued. Okay, so I noticed I made a mistake. So on this, and I'm glad I didn't have anything torqued down at all. So on the adapter, you see there are 2 orange markings. That needs to line up with this as well, okay? So yeah, well, oh, I'm sorry. Let me correct you. this piece right here, this end piece, that spins. Okay, so that doesn't necessarily need to match up, but this part right here on the adapter needs to march up with the orange side. Okay, so the orange side is over here somewhere, so I need to kind of turn it just so it's balanced there. Okay, so I got to turn the drive shaft one more time, get the last 3 bolts here done, and we are done. I have everything torqued where it attaches to the transmission. Just so you know, the bolts here where it attached to the adapter also get torqued down to 47 foot-pounds. So I'm just gonna throw the hanger up and we are good to go. It's very dirty because I've been having grease on my hands, so it's not polished or anything like that. It's not supposed to look good though. All done. Everything is bolted back up. Drive shaft, everything is torqued down. So now we get to see what the difference is. One more step closer to boost. Yeah. All done.